So let's move on to the funniest story of the week. You know what's so sad? It's been so many weeks since we've talked about our boy Ron DeSantis. And
It has.
you know why? I have no stories about Ron DeSantis on the list today. There's nothing to talk about with him.
Yeah.
He's dead, guys. It's over.
I'm kind of glad, though.
Yeah, I mean, I was sick of the Republican primary horse race shit.
It's
I was
so
done.
boring.
It's
so
boring. No one else stands a chance. It's going to be Trump. We're wasting it all the time. All these guys are just wasting their money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. There's nothing interesting to talk about like, oh, what could happen? Like what levers do they need to pull? What kind of strategizing do they need to do? It's just like Trump's going to take it. We can laugh at them, but also, do we want to waste 5 to 10 minutes on every show doing that?
No, I don't.
I'm kind of over it.
So Trump, we can waste some time on Trump because
He's the important one.
he's the important one, and his empire is collapsing. Recently, he has gone to trial, or there has been a decision on his fraud case coming out of New York. The Attorney General, Tish James, has alleged that Trump and his adult sons, through his companies and some of his business associates, fraudulently inflated Trump's net worth in order to obtain favorable terms from banks and insurance companies, saying, hey, my company is worth $100 million, or this property is worth $100 million to an insurance company, and then saying my property is worth $10 million to a tax collector, right? That's the fraud that he's caught up in. Mm-hmm. Well, Kevin Wallace, an attorney for the Attorney General, urged the judge in his opening statement to bar Trump, who rose to fame. Oh, whatever. That's irrelevant information. But they have found him guilty, guys. It's over. It's done.
Is the sentencing?
The sentencing is where we're at now.
Okay.
So it's done. The judge has ruled that Donald Trump is guilty of fraud and has lost all of his licenses to practice business in the state of New York.
Wow.
Once sentencing is complete, he might have to sell off some of his properties, including Trump Tower in New York City. It might have to go.
Wow.
Can you believe that? The empire is collapsing around him, and he's furious.
Yeah.
He's furious.
Can he just sell it to Kushner?
That's funny, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it can be in the family.
I have to say, okay, really, really quick anecdote. I went to Manhattan for 2 weeks recently, and I had a gym there that I was going to every day. And on my walk, there's a building called the Puck Building. And it's this really nice red brick building. And it's Puck from maybe Huckleberry Finn. Let me try to find the reference. Because there are these two small gold statues of Puck from Midsummer's Night's Dream. And I was curious. I'm like, this is a really nice building. Who owns it? And I found out that Kushner bought it a few years ago.
No way.
Yeah, and he turned the top of them into penthouses. I just thought it was interesting because we've been so into politics. Anyways, sorry.
No, you're good. So Trump has been found guilty. Now, he is so mad. He is so mad. Trump has attacked the judge, saying that he should be disbarred, that he's a drunk,
of course,
that he's insane.
Yeah. He
has attacked the judge clerk, saying that she's sleeping with Chuck Schumer, which I don't know where that comes from, but that's hilarious. And so much more that I couldn't even name. So the judge responded and put a gag order on him, saying that he's not allowed to attack anyone in the courtroom, any of his associates, any of his employees. He's not allowed to do that.
That's amazing.
Trump is not doing himself any favors, as he also threatened Mark Miller, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He said that He said that Mark Milley should face the death penalty for treason.
Oh.
Which is insane because Mark Milley is a witness to one of Trump's criminal cases. So he threatened one of his potential witnesses.
The prosecution's witnesses.
With death?
Oh, wow.
I mean...
Do you think the hammer comes down on this soon? No?
No, I don't. I think they're
They're too scared?
We talked about this. If Trump goes to jail before he's convicted, it's not good. It's not a good look.
No.
It's just not. So, point is, he's getting the gag on. What are you thinking?
I just think it sucks because any other person should be sent to jail.
Yeah.
Right?
He threatened a witness.
Yeah. With death.
With death.
Yeah, it's... and I don't like that they have to not treat him equally to get a fairer trial.
It's so messed up because he's framed this as, it's not a fair trial. There's a two-tier justice system. And it's like, yeah, one for me and not for thee. Like,
Yeah.
look in the mirror, bro. You're the one who's getting the sweetheart deal. You threatened one of your witnesses with death, and you're not going to jail for it. Anyone else would be going to jail for it, but not you, because, you know, you got your orange face and your golden toilet.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
And you were elected to the highest office in the
oh, that
country.
too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So now this trial that he's in right now for this fraud case is really all about determining the penalty. So Tish James is pushing for $250 million worth of payment. $250 million.
Wow.
That would destroy him.
That would. I mean,
That would actually end him.
bankruptcy,
I
for
think
sure.
I think that would actually bankrupt the man.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah. I mean, which he's gone through before, and he'll be fine. Like, to be clear, like, his brand is valuable enough that he will be fine, but it'll really suck for him.
And Trump is also going off about how mad he is, and he's like, "Why didn't I get a jury trial? Why did this sentencing only come from the judge himself?" Okay, well, it turns out that your stupid lawyer didn't check the box asking for a jury trial.
Really?
She checked the wrong box.
Really?
It's been reported by, I didn't believe it at first, and I really wanted to give this lawyer the benefit of the doubt that this wasn't true, but every single reporting agency that I found has shown document of her checking the wrong box, saying trial without jury.
Wow.
So Trump chose it. It's his legal team who chose this.
Yeah, well, I wonder if it was a mistake or if it was part of the strategy beforehand, and now he's turning around and he's like, this is an opportunity to throw someone else under the bus.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? But it's just insane that he's able to just turn everything on its head like that.
He's the best at that, though, man.
He's the man at it.
Like, there was a time when Milley was his chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or whatever it was. And he was like, Milley's a great general. He's going to do the best for me. And now he's threatening him with death.
It's insane.
Yeah.
One of the big things Trump's is really angry about is that the assessment of his Mar-a-Lago property. So he thinks that Mar-a-Lago should be worth $1 billion or like I think it was $760 million or something. The judge has said that it's worth 18 million, and Trump freaks out. He's like, "How could you say Mar-a-Lago is worth 18 million dollars? How could you say that? It's the best in the world. I could get someone to buy it for 1 billion, maybe even 1.5 billion." And then the judge said on Monday that his ruling did not specify the Mar-a-Lago value of 18 million, but he was only citing Palm Beach tax records.
That makes sense. Because honestly,
but that's a part of the fraud, because the tax record shows it's only 18 million.
Okay.
But then it's assessed, or not assessed, it's appraised at 760 billion.
See, this is where I'm gonna play the devil advocate a little bit, because I think he could sell Mar-a-Lago for a lot.
Yes.
Because again, it's attached to his brand.
Yes.
And so now there is historical significance. There's something more to it than just the value of the property.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So I'm going to put that out there.
That makes sense. That's fair.
But 18 million to 1 billion?
No.
That I'm not so sure about.
And in addition to this, he also has been caught lying about the size of his apartments on records.
Yeah.
He said that some of his apartments are 30,000 square feet when it was actually only like around 15,000 square feet. And he said that his apartment was the most expensive apartment in New York City history.
Yeah.
Which it isn't. Like, it just is not that. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
So he's just lying all the way up and down. It's fraud through and through. And his business empire is going to collapse because of it. And I love it.
I have to say that this is interesting to me because of how it plays into the image of Trump.
So,
right? Because people like Trump, and they say this because he's a fighter, right? And they like that he does this kind of scummy stuff because it shows that he's a strategist and he's trying to take every avenue he can to better his own situation and to win on his behalf. But then he loses. And he keeps losing, right? He gets indicted. He gets convicted in the E. Jean Carroll trial. He gets convicted in this trial.
he loses elections.
He loses elections. His party loses elections because of him. And yet, when he loses, it plays into the idea that Trump is like us, right? It's like, oh, I see the pictures of him leaving all these secret documents in the bathroom. Well, I'm messy and careless sometimes, and I would totally do that too, right? He loses, and then he becomes more relatable. He loses, and he declares bankruptcy, and he gets asked about it in the initial presidential debate with Hillary Clinton, and he says, of course I used some of these tax laws to keep more of my money when I filed for bankruptcy, just like all of Hillary's donors did, right? He finds ways to turn his losses into character wins somehow for his audience. And I feel like this is going to keep playing right into that. And he's going to blame the judge, and he's going to find certain arguments that people who already like him will believe when he says that Mar-a-Lago is worth way more. And it's just all going to elevate. It all still is according to plan for him.
I can't agree with you more. And it's scary to me to see his poll numbers continue to rise against Joe Biden. All of this, all of these criminal trials, it's at a backdrop of him leading Joe Biden at the national average. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. I don't really worry about polls, but that's just me.
No, and look, we talked about this too. We've covered special elections, and the special elections show that Democrats are actually performing very well. And I'm not too worried about the polls either in some regard. But they say something.
Probably.
Right? They say something, and it's crazy to me because what it tells me is some people are still thinking about it because Joe Biden is still so unappealing at the moment.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think the polls tell me that people are still thinking about it.
Okay.
And their minds aren't made up. I think at the end of the day they'll land on Biden if it comes to it. But I think that like a lot of percentage of the voting base is even convinced that Joe Biden isn't going to run again, even though he's currently in the middle of a re-election campaign.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that too.
Right.
Which is kind of wild.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Trump being a fucking idiot and just getting screwed over in every way.